Hey, how's it going? It's been a while. Let's see if you guys can see and hear. It'd be cool. My God, we got nearly 150 people already in 15 seconds. That's pretty awesome. You guys are awesome. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Matt, for that. That's brilliant. Yes, we're good. Just looking real quick in the chat while we wait for the latecomers to join. Now, this is really important because it all depends on how good the notification system is with YouTube. Now, I'm being led to believe that it's crap. The amount of messages that I get that they say like, I got a notification that you was going live 45 minutes after you actually went live. So that sucks in a large way. I would like to think that most of you guys who watch me do live streams, it's always going to be 8 p.m. every Friday. So the most easiest way is, if you want to carry on watching, of course, is just remember 8 p.m. Friday, come here. You won't need to be notified. Do you know what? I got an email earlier this morning from someone called Michael. And do you know what he does? He's so fed up with the notification system on YouTube. Do you know what he does? He sets an alarm on his phone, 7:45 every Friday, Funky's live stream. And he's not missed. Michael, if you're in here, mate, say hi, everyone. That'd be really cool. Whilst we're, waiting for everyone to turn up, we've got 344. Brilliant. So if you're watching this on the replay, we will be getting into the real nitty gritty in about 5 or 10 minutes. So because this is live and we've got a good community, we want to make sure that loads of people are in the chat right here, right now. And yes, it's Friday. What a crazy week. How mad has it been? So mad that the other day I went all the way over to Hay-on-Wye to see a monolith which was put on this mountain by aliens. And let me tell you this, the weather was so piss poor, we had to index. It was so windy and wet. There's no way we're going to be going up there in those weather conditions. Absolutely dangerous. So yeah, it's been a crazy week with weather. We've done a video earlier for Olight. That was really, really cool. Loads of people saved a fortune. If you haven't seen that video, there's a live stream for about half an hour before this one earlier today. So it's good. More and more people are coming into the chat. Awesome. Now, whilst we wait for the others, someone said, and I can't scroll too far because it was ages ago. Someone said in America, I believe, possibly, excuse me, that a lot of people are freaking out in America about this eclipse that is inbound. Okay, I'm trying to find it. Honestly, I'm not joking. You guys have been blowing up the feed like crazy. I just can't find it. I'm sorry. I've just gone up 300 and I can't find it. But yes, the message was people in America are freaking out about this eclipse. Now, I got onto a friend of mine, a good friend of mine in America, JW, and what he had to say was quite crazy. This was basically off a telephone conversation he had with someone in Homeland Security. It's crazy. What it seems is there looks like there could be. Now, this is could, all right? We're still waiting for more intel to come out to back up this. Now, we're talking about the 8th of April, or if you're in America, April 8th. I don't know why they say that the other way around, but they do. A bioterror attack during the solar eclipse. That's being talked about right now. It's only just been coming out about an hour and 10 minutes ago now. Now, apparently the FBI have been training recently over the last 3 weeks for terrorist attacks. There's been 3 hospitals apparently in the Texas area who have been doing drills for a bioterror attack. They've been practicing communication breakdown. So we're looking at all comms off, basically, during the eclipse. Now, a weird thing about this, who remembers 1999? In the UK, in England, we had a solar eclipse. I was there, I saw it. And do you know what? Back in the day, we didn't have smartphones back then. We just had normal phones with buttons and a small screen. Okay. I remember my partner at the time, we was texting each other as this solar eclipse was going on, and we was both pay as you go. All of the texts during the time that that solar eclipse was going on was free. Nothing seemed to work correctly. So what we're hearing is they are already doing drills and procedures about telephones going down during the eclipse. One of the big companies who is leaked this morning, it would have been nighttime in America, was a company called AT&T. Recently, they done some tests about phone outages. And I believe we might even have someone here in the chat. I can't remember who it was now. I know it's someone in America. I think it might have been Pamela. She was saying that her phone has been a nightmare since the AT&T outage, which literally wiped out most of America's communications via mobile network. The Americans say cell coverage for about at least 8 hours. Okay, so if you guys were involved, you had no phone signal at all for 8 solid hours across continental United States. Let us all know in the chat. But yes, these things, the eclipse is only for a few minutes. That's correct. That's right. And like I said, when I was sending messages, we probably done about 8 or 10 messages each in those 2 minutes, and none of them were charged. It was very, very weird. So it does. Here we are saying now it's still tripping. It got locked out of YouTube. Oh, wow. So yeah, maybe certain people have had their phones altered, should we say, during that outage, reset, updated, agendaized, whatever you want to call, lots of stuff. But anyway, that was to satisfy the guy. I'm really sorry, I can't remember who you are, who mentioned it earlier on in the chat, saying that a lot of Americans are freaking out about this eclipse. And this is the 8th of April next month, not far away now. Okay. If I find out more from my bro JW out there, I'll see if I can update some of our American friends. And what would be good, I know we've got a time difference, I can try and hook up with JW and do a live together. That would be really good. So we both do our research. So it'd be good for us to compile our minds and give you guys the dot joining of what we're coming up against. So let me just see, 670 in the chat. That's fantastic. Really, really cool. What we got? Sunrise, good to see you. Another member in the house. Off grid with Doug and Stacey. Yeah, do you know what? I can't believe that Doug's been talking truth stuff. I mean, he's got a lot to lose, that guy. But fair play to him, mate. He's got balls of steel. He's going to need it because it's going to be the big players with over 1 million subs. They're going to be coming for first. So we'll have to wait and see how this come out. He put a video about being warned about the solar eclipse. There is a lot of talk around a campfire in the States about this eclipse. So if any of you guys know all sorts of stuff about that, send me an email. The email address is right underneath this video. It's easy. If you can't find it, go to my bio, go into the other links, and there'll be reveal email address, and there it will be. Okay, that'd be really, really cool. And Pilgrim, as well as the other mods, yeah, hit the thumbs up. I usually do it when I go onto a live stream. I'll do it, get it out of the way. I haven't got to worry then. If everyone's done that, it really helps, I believe, get the notifications out there so more people can join in the chat and get notified on time. It really helps. So thank you for that, Jay. That's very, very cool. Brilliant. My beautiful partner, truly spangled around the eclipse time. You're not wrong. Yes, spangled is very true. It does all sorts of weird and wonderful things, and it goes back historically for millennia. Okay, so what would be really good to see whilst we're waiting for everyone else to join in, because we've only been live for around 8 or 9 minutes now, is where are you guys watching from? Now is your chance. If you want to have a quick shout out, stick it in the chat and we can say hi and welcome you into the awesome community that we've got. And we're going to be talking about, we are being attacked from all fronts tonight. There's all the little things which will add up. This sort of stuff we don't really hear people talking about, but you're going to hear it right here tonight on YouTube live from the United Kingdom, Great Britain. Okay, So the first person we got is Barbara from Northampton. This guy said, Martin, what does spangled mean? Spangled means everything's gone crazy and messed up. Another word. So Smith is from Bolham in London. That's awesome. Born outside. Good to see you, Tim. It's been a while, mate. Spangles. Yes. A big Spangle fan myself, dude. Why not? We got Beard Box. Good to see you again. Another member in the house from BRECON. Let's see if we've got here. Don't tread on me. Ash, good to see you, mate. Is an errant, which is also very, very cool. Over in Northampton. He's in the house. Fair play, sir. Fair play. We got Lone Wolf over in Florida. Wow, we got someone from the US. Awesome. Who else we got? Brian, good to see you, mate. Is from Alford in Lincolnshire. Lincolnshire. It's over on the East Coast. I know people on the East Coast of the UK, they're a little bit different than everyone else. Go figure. How you doing, Brian? Good to see you, mate. We got Mark over in Preston. We got MP down in Surrey. Very posh. We got Sandy. He's over in West Yorkshire. All right, lad. And we got Welsh Chris outdoors at Isle of Man. It's from the Isle of Man. Brilliant. Neil McCoy Ward. My mate over there. That's good. We have got John is over in Sweden. Wow, fantastic. Good to see you, John. I hope you're all well. We've got Bells Angels is up in Denbigh, or Denbighshire up in North Wales. Who else we got? Someone called Kelly over in Leeds. That's fantastic. And obviously, our brother, good to see you, John. I hope you're well, mate. Is over in BRECON. And yeah, I bet you have been busy. But you need to start slowing down, sir. You'll owe the big break. And also, we've got Matt over in the Midwest. Looking at in the woods. Nice one, Matt. Fair play to you, sir. And we have got House Fairy from Sheffield, but now in Leominster. Good to see you. We have got Lauren, I think, Wilkinson up in Scotland. Who we got here? Oh, notice this. Mr. Steve, he's down in Pompey. All right, son. My hometown. North End boy myself. We got John is over in Leeds. Good to see you, John. Awesome. And if I did see, oh my God, we got Faye. Hello, mate. Cooking in the kitchen. Pilgrim, which is Jay over in the US, is in Planet Earth, of course. I thought I saw earlier on Margaret, but I can't see her right now. I did see her, didn't I? Margaret, good to see you. I hope you're well. It's been a while, and I hope everything's okay. I've been meaning to send you an email, but I've been having internet problems lately, so I'm going to try and get that solved. And I'll be contacting you via email soon just to catch up, because, yeah, it sounds like you've been for a bit, and I hope you're okay. We got Steve over in North West London. Awesome. We got Old Crow. He's down in South Kent. We have got Libellula over in France. Oh, Fonse. Awesome. We got AJ is over in Deutschland in Germany. We got Morgan over in Carmarthenshire. We got loads. Honestly, I could literally go on and on and on. You guys, my God, are everywhere. Blimey, blimey, blimey. Yeah, that's quite funny. Your sofa. She's downstairs. What are you like? Brilliant. Ben. Oh, good to see you, mate. It's been a while. We got all of the top cats in the house. So without further ado, what we're going to do is we are going to get on with it. Now, there's an info banner rolling across the bottom of the screen. If you can help, it really, really does make a big difference. We've been smashing loads at the park with this sponsored walk. That's coming up in the last week of this month. So stay tuned. You will be updated. And as always, I've made a funk load of notes. All right. And in case you didn't see it, the merchandise is been arriving. I'm really happy with it. We got mugs, we got t-shirts. I'm just making sure that it's all good. All of this stuff is being washed and dried and tumble dried, and we're checking to make sure it's good. So far, it's all good. So once I finally get the merch shelf integrated onto my YouTube channel, you guys can do what you need to do. It's all good. Lots of people have been asking me for merch for quite a while now. So yes, we're almost there. We're just waiting for the bloody technology stuff. I'm a technophobe. Right, I'm really sorry for waffling on. It's 15 minutes and 18 seconds. So for a timestamp, if anyone can put it in the comment section under the video when this is done, be sure to skip to 15.5 minutes for the show. Now, lots of things add up, okay? And this could literally go across the board with everything, okay? It's all of the little things which really do build up, and sometimes they build up slowly and sometimes seemingly insignificantly. But one of the most important things to try and realize that all of these things added together is huge, and it has a massive impact. Now, all of these things we're going to talk about tonight, okay, it may come across that we're just having a moan and a whinge, but I want you to try and keep in mind, when you add together all of these little things which are happening all over the UK, they add up to a lot. And when I say a lot, it really does contribute to our mental well-being and our strength up there. Okay? Because all the time that this is getting weaker, it's getting pummeled, we are absolutely getting weaker. It's something we need to keep an eye on, okay? It's not just the big headline news, it's all of these little things, okay? So we're going to start from going through all of these little things, which once they add up, they're a major ball ache. And it all leads to how you demoralize an entire nation. It's crazy. Like I say, you really need to add all of these things up and then try to get into the mindset of what that does to the psyche. This is what we're talking about tonight. Because like the thumbnail suggests, we are being attacked from all angles, okay? From all fronts. And we are at war. Whether you believe it or not, it's fine. But at some point, my hope, and indeed many others, will hope that lots of people wake up and realize to literally everything is being taken apart. Everything is collapsing. Everything is breaking down. Everything is getting screwed, okay? You've got to be a blind arsehole with your head in the sand to think everything is frigging rosy. Do you know what? Even the wealthy people are starting to notice and are struggling. I remember reading a report about a month, 6 weeks ago, maybe a bit longer, that billionaires in London are no longer buying property, they are renting. So when you see extremely wealthy people adjusting their spending habits, what the friggin' hell does that mean for us lot? Now, like I said, we're going to go through all of these things, and trust me, when we get to the bottom of this big long list, and it is big, it will start making sense that all of these things together really do screw us over. What about car parking? Yeah, something as trivial as car parking. All right. Now, how many of you? Now, I want you to engage in the chat, in the live chat, because we really want to make sure that when we see the replay, or others see the replay of this live stream, they can see in the live chat how extensive this is. Now, what I'm doing is I am just talking and discussing about things that I'm seeing in my immediate area, which is right in the middle of Wales, where all of the mountains are, where not many people live. It's a harsh environment. That's where I choose to live, and that's my play park, as it were. But I want to know what you are seeing from where you are, and I want you to let everyone know in the live chat, because it's going to be replayed when this video gets uploaded, and you never know, it might hit 500,000 views like one of my live streams has just done not long ago. It's insane. The amount of people are going to read your messages in this live chat could be crazy, right? So recently I had a little trip to go and see this monolith thing which appeared in Hay-on-Wye. We got there, the weather was diabolical. We chose to go to Hay-on-Wye and just chill out around some of the bookshops, etc. My God, the first thing that we come across, okay, let's try and park as central to all the shops as we could. We didn't want to walk too far, right? We park up, guess what? We saw a traffic warden. Or if you don't believe me, they have been called officially since 2008 civil enforcement officers. They are no longer called traffic wardens. They are civil enforcement officers. How frigging militaristic do you want to frigging get? It's a traffic warden who was probably bullied at school. They can't stand themselves and they like making other people's lives a misery by putting tickets on people's cars. Lots of it's ridiculous. How do you feel about paying for car parking? Now, the thing is, the fees and the charges for car parks are insane. Some of them, especially if you are unfortunate enough to go to airports or London, let us know how much you pay when you've gone on holiday and you put your car park at Heathrow or Gatwick for a week. How much did it cost you to leave it just parked? Friggin' ridiculous. If you wanted to pop into town and you wanted to spend 2 hours walking around the shops, etc., how much does it cost? Do you think it's reasonable? Do you think it's out of order? Do you think it should be free? Let us know in the live chat right now. It'd be really, really good to understand. Now, the thing is, there seems to be that there are no free car parking spaces in the middle of towns or cities. If there are, they are literally top secret. Okay. As soon as I parked up there, I had 1 hour of free parking. So I had to keep an eye on my phone or my watch to see when the hour's up to get back and to move it somewhere else. What a ball ache that is. Now, we're going to get on to that in a sec, why I think those sorts of things are in place. And the traffic warden come along and I said to him, you know, 1 hour, that's not very long, is it? You know, I can't really do much. He said, there's a car park over there with 400 car parking spaces in Hay-on-Wye. We gets there and 4 hours is £4 just to park a car there. £4. I could have brought 4 loaves of bread with that. It's ridiculous. But nonetheless, this is what we're seeing, right? So, you know, these people who enjoy their work, they really need to start looking into themselves. It's crazy. It really is crazy. So, and the weird thing is, if you want to have free car parking, it's a long way away from where all of the main shops are. So what about the disabled people? People who've got disabilities or on crutches, they're on mobility scooters, they're in wheelchairs. It's crazy. What about the elderly? How, if you're over 60 or 70 or 80, how do you feel having to park for free a long way away from the town centre, having a long walk, probably in pain because he can't afford the car parking, or you think it's wrong anyway? What about the youngsters? What about kids when they're 3 years old or 4 years old and they want to walk? They can't really walk for that long. It's not fair. You're only little, their muscles aren't developed enough. It's just not on. Yet, this is what's going on. Now, I can foresee big changes with car parking. Do you know what I can see? Based upon some of the chatter on Twitter this morning when I was researching this live stream. And yes, this is my main job. I spend my time researching, making videos. That's what I do. And I'm fortunate enough, because of the support I get from you guys watching my videos, I can do that. And I can try and find as much factual information as I possibly can and share it with you guys. And I want to hear what you guys think about the things I'm saying and let everyone else know, so we can hopefully be more informed on a much bigger, grander scale than you would be if you read something like the Daily Star and you was like a crazy person. All right? It's nuts. Who remembers what happened in London with the ULEZ cameras? Some of you guys will have recalled the Blade Runners. Who remembers the Blade Runners? If you do, let us know in the chat. It'd be really, really interesting to see if you guys have heard about the Blade Runners. Basically, they was going around London and they was cutting down these cameras, which you had to pay a small charge if you didn't pay to drive your own vehicle, which you already pay tax on. And don't worry, we're going to get into tax later. You're being fined. So the people have had enough and they started cutting down these cameras. This campaign was so successful, the entire budget for the Transport of London was nowhere near enough to replace all of these broken cameras. I suspect that what we are going to be seeing very, very soon is people are going to be doing very similar things with car parking meters. There's talk about it already. Some of the things I saw on Twitter this morning, people were saying super gluing up the slots where you put your money in. Some people were thinking of literally just cutting them down like the ULEZ cameras, because like I said at the start of this video, all of these seemingly insignificant minor things, when you add them all up together, what does it do? It makes a lot of people seriously pissed off. When more and more people get really, really pissed off, they are going to do things they don't normally do. And like I say, there's already chat. You can look at it on X or Twitter yourself. People are doing something about parking meters. It's another way to get money out of people. But we move on to hospitals. Now, how many of you watching this right now have had to go to hospital, whether it's for yourself or you're visiting a loved one, friend, family, or work colleague? Let us know what your experiences were when you was in the hospital for whatever capacity recently. I myself had to go to hospital recently in Wales, and let me tell you this, I was shocked. I was literally feeling like I was walking around in a post-apocalyptic movie where there was no one in the frigging hospital. It's very, very strange. Anyway, hospitals, car parking. The last thing you want is to go to hospital because you're in pain and you have to try and find where to park. You have to go to the little ticket bay to put on as much money as you think you're going to need, come back to your car, put it on there. Then you've got to make your way to A&E. Then you've got to get processed and wait in that room for maybe 6 frigging hours. You've got so much stress and you're probably going to be in a lot of pain. The last thing you frigging want is to worry about a parking ticket. Really? Now, let me know what you think in this. Run to the woods. Good to see you, sir. I've missed you. I hope you're okay over there in Derby. Love you like a brother. And you hang in there, dude. We've got your back. But yeah, you don't want to be stressing when you're in hospital about a frigging car parking ticket. It's the last thing you want. You've got much more important things on your plate than that. Now, it's the same thing when you look at what we talked about earlier in the city centres and the towns. If you want free parking on a hospital, you've got to go quite a way away. Now, I suspect there has been high-level council meetings looking at all of the streets, looking at the hospitals, looking at the car parks, trying to make it impossible by putting yellow lines, resident-only parking, all of the rest of it, sometimes extremely expensive car parking fees just to park your frigging car. It's not right. Like I said, all of these things add up to really piss people off. These are just 2 things. I've got about 60 to go through. And by the time you've heard all these and put yourself in the mindset of that person, yeah, it's no wonder people have had it up to here. And yes, we are at war. All of this has an impact about our psyche. This is a demoralization tactic by very wealthy, very clued up people above pulling the strings, just like in the thumbnail, pulling the strings like a puppet for the whole planet. It's no BS. You won't believe it when you listen to the things on this list. It's insane. But what really pisses me off, okay, what really pisses me off is nurses who go to hospitals and doctors. They're on very, very low pay for the fine work that they do. The last thing the nurses and some of the doctors need to do is to pay to park just to go to frigging work. Now, how many people in the chat right now think it's a good idea that all nurses have to pay to park just to go to work? To put up with low wages, not enough resources, too many idiots in the hotel departments telling people what to do on extremely large salaries, while all of our very, very good and very, very well respected nurses are getting paid pittance and paid to park their own frigging cars. It's just unbelievable. It shouldn't be allowed. I don't know about you, but I want to hear what you are seeing. All right. Like I said, I can only say what I see, and I live in the middle of Wales. Okay. It's a large area with not many people, a few towns dotted around. Now, I spoke to a few people in some of these shops, and the complaint from me was, why is it in Wales that so many shops have their own made up opening hours? So when I was in South England near Portsmouth, most of the shops in the high street would open at 8 or 9, and they'll be open to about 5 or 6. They'll be open all day Saturday and probably Sunday, half day Sunday. That's normal. In Wales, no way. You'll be very lucky to find most shops opening for 5 days a week, some of them 4 days, some of them even 3 days. The opening hours are so limited, they're so random, every shop has got its own days, hours, etc. Let me know if you are seeing this as well, because I'm thinking maybe it's just Wales. I don't know. But like I said, I've been speaking to people working in these shops, and they said lots of it changed during 2020 when the issue happened. And we spoke about this so many times on videos on this channel, that people who do as they're told, the conformist people, they are always going to be the people who are worse off. What about all of the businesses in 2020 who followed the guidance? The government said, stop trading. You still had to pay your frigging rent every month. What do you think's going to happen? All of these businesses who've done as they're told, believing that they're doing the right thing and they're saving the NHS on all this bullshit, they are all out of business now. Generations and generations of independent family-run businesses gone for good, because they listened to the government's guidance, and that was stop trading. Really? There are some very brave people. Who remembers that gym in Birmingham who would not shut during 2020? They were facing fines of £20,000 a day every day they remained open. There are police en masse outside. There are Facebook groups, protesters. Who remembers that? Let us know in the chat. I didn't make that up. That was really going on. Thing is, you try and find video footage of all of those sorts of things that happened, it's being deleted from the internet. But these things actually happened. You watch some of the messages in this live chat right now. Some of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about that gym in Birmingham. They are still going, and they're going strong. There's gyms not far from round the corner from where they were who listened to the government, they closed, and they are all bankrupt. They boarded up, businesses closed, laid off all of their staff because they trusted the benevolent government. Wow. What are we learning? More stuff. So we are seeing shorter opening times, like I just said. Okay. Sometimes they close all day. Now, the thing is, all that's going to do is physical shops are going to be getting less customers. It's common sense. The less hours a shop is open, the less customers it's going to get. It doesn't take a frigging rocket surgery guy to understand that. It doesn't. So it's inevitable. Okay. Business rates, rents per business in high streets, especially in retail, are slowly going up. The opening hours are getting shorter because they can't afford to run that business all of the time that they used to. Energy prices are going up. Staff are wanting more money. The prices are going up. People can't afford to go there. They shop online, and they reduce their opening hours. They enforce, these evil bastards enforce car parking to try and destroy city centres, high streets, and the shops. They are trying to put the nail in the coffin when they started doing this in 2020 to tell businesses to close because they're saving the NHS and all that bullshit. You are seeing it all collapse. Okay. You go round to a high street. Let us know what you see where you are. Thank you, Rachel. Yeah, if you can hit the thumbs up, that really, really helps. So I appreciate it. So you are going to be looking at the goal here is they want to close all independent businesses, especially on the high street. They want them all gone. They only want the big conglomerates left. Okay, your Starbucks, your Costas, your Gap, or whatever it is. They only want these chain stores. Okay, they don't want like Bob's Cafe anymore. Gone. What about back in the day? You know what I said about the online safety bill? Some of you who don't know what I'm talking about, the online safety bill, it's the Online Safety Act, thanks to our King, who signed the online safety bill into existence by guidance from his dear friend, Mr. Klaus Schwab. Now we have the Online Safety Act. So that basically gives snooping powers to governmental bodies to look into private online conversations, encrypted or not. Bear that in mind. You haven't really got that many places to meet publicly. So we do it online. How many of us sit indoors or at work or on a bus or in our tea break in our cars or whatever it is, communicating with like-minded friends like us lot in this community online? Who remembers going to a pub every Friday, every Saturday night, meeting up with their mates, having a chat about things, etc.? Who remembers going to the boozer for a couple of pig's ears back in the day? It was a socially acceptable meeting place for average people to go and interact with others. Have you been to a pub lately? Do you know how much the prices are? It's strange that prices of a pint, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10 pound a pint in some places, friggin' unbelievable, and you know it's watered down, etc. Okay? Why is it that prices of alcohol and just going to a pub these days is so expensive? And look at the price of alcohol in supermarkets. It's a no-brainer that you can see it all being planned. If you can't see it, step back and look into it, okay? Who remembers back in the day, smoking? Drinking and smoking went together like cheese and pickle. Lots of people had a pint and a fag. You can smoke inside the pub. Then what did they do? They made people smoke outside pubs. Lots of people stopped going to pubs. Lots of people stopped supporting pubs. Why did they want to stand outside in the hacking rain where they used to stand inside or sit down and have a couple of fags for their beer? There was even people who used to moan about the smoke everywhere. They even made non-smoking sections. So the people who didn't like to smoke, they can sit in a different room with no smoke. No, even that was illegal and banned. So you started to see the demise of the pub industry from then. Scotland joined a bit later, if you remember. Okay, so physical meeting places are nowhere near as much as they used to be. The agenda is the less places that people can meet in public and interact, the better for the establishment. Basically, they want everyone online being monitored, tracked, traced, compartmentalized, tagged, whatever. Okay? You can go to the pub, leave your phone at home, and have a lovely chat with your mate. Okay? And no one would know. It's private. I saw someone in the chat earlier saying that they use cash. Good. I spoke to someone today in a big charity shop, and he only uses cash. He didn't even have a debit card. He spent his whole life just using cash. And I said to him, fair play, because the reason is a cash transaction is a private transaction. What you buy with your cash, which you have earned, which belongs to you, what you buy is no one else's business. So go into the pub and you can have a private conversation with someone, anyone that you wanted, and it wasn't being copied, recorded, friggin' analyzed, etc. It's wrong. It's friggin' well out of order. Okay? What about libraries? People used to meet and talk quietly in libraries. It's a great place. There's lots of books. You can educate yourself. It's somewhere warm. They've got computers. Who remembers microfiche when you used to do independent research back in the day? Like I did. Most of us did. Libraries are closing. Have you noticed? Pubs are closing. All right, then, if you think pubs aren't closing, look at the UK of how many pubs there were in the 1980s and look at how many pubs are open right now. If you don't know, you are going to be shocked. In fact, I'm not going to tell it out for yourself. Let me tell you this. Be prepared to be shocked. You won't believe the difference in 1980s and the 90s and the pubs now. It'll blow your head off. Same sorts of things, doctors' surgeries, like my partner mentioned earlier. It's true. What about like people are being pushed into having online appointments? Let us know in the chat. We're going to go into the chat now to let us know. Oh, Margaret, cool. Good to see you, honey. I knew you'd be in here somewhere. I get messages say you spent this amount this week. I can't stand it. I can't stand all of that control. Cash is always king. Okay. But yeah, what about doctors? Now, how many people want to go and see a doctor only to be told that you have to do an online appointment, i.e. over the phone or something? They started all this training exercise in 2020. Yes, 2020, in my opinion, was a great big global training exercise, and they gathered loads of data. One of those little tiny experiments they done in 2020 was to stop people physically going to their doctors, but to just speak to them over the phone. So the doctor couldn't use his skills of body language to look at the patient to decipher all sorts of things, which most doctors and nurses would do. They would look at the patients, use their eyes, and they would look for signs, not just hear something over the phone. How much misdiagnosis have we had by appointments being done over the frigging telephone? It's sick. We have a right, especially when you pay national insurance contributions, to go and see your GP and have a proper diagnosis. What the frigging hell is wrong going over the phone? Why? It's bullshit. And yet we still pay our national insurance contributions. And we have to put up with this. Insane. So people used to meet up and have a chat at doctor surgery. Okay? Believe it or not, that's a thing. Social clubs. How many people used to go to the social club back in the day? Whether it's Liberal, Labour, Conservatives clubs, working man's clubs, the CIU, the CIA, all of these clubs. Who remembers it? Who remembers Double Diamond Beer? I think Brian might remember. Right, Brian, Double D. But yes, all of these places are going. They are no more. There are not many left. This is all by design. Who remembers me saying a term? Failing town. Have some of you heard me say failing town? Crazy. Thank you, Owen, for that donation. That's very kind, sir. They want to get rid of us all. Yes, they do. Owen, you're absolutely right, mate. And this is just one of the many, many, many things that they are doing to ensure that. This is pretty much, if you don't understand by now, a depopulation agenda. And it's absolutely sick and disgustingly hideous of what they're doing to enable this to happen. The easiest way that they can do it is to make people so pissed off that they do themselves in, job done. If you think that's sad enough, it's true. The rates are going through the roof all over the UK and in America, I believe. We got some American friends right now. People who are no longer here because they can't hack it no more. Look at the farmers. I covered the farmers' protests recently, and the amount of farmers who are not here no more because they are so depressed about everything being squeezed. Most of it is financial. But like I say, there are many other facets that tie along with this agenda of tools at their disposal about what they're doing to decrease the surplus population. It's true. Failing towns. All right. So if you see an increase in your town, let me know in the chat right now. If you have seen an increase in bookies, betting office, charity shops, pound shops, pawnbrokers, barbers, most of them have foreigners working in them. Most of them are lavishly decorated. They're mostly always empty. What's going on there? What about car washes? Again, mostly run by foreigners. Most of them are empty for a lot of the time. Now, if you think that these barbers and car washes, predominantly who are employing foreign people, if you think that they are not fronts for organised crime, you got a lot to learn, my friend. This is happening all over the country. Serious organised crime. SOC. It's happening. They're fronts for all sorts of things. I'm going to let you say in the chat what you think is going on with them two organisations alone. It's a failing town. When you see these creeping into your high street, your city, your town, or even your village, this is happening en masse. Let me know where you are and if you are seeing those sorts of things happening in your town. It'd be good for us to read the replay of this live chat about where these really bad city centres and towns are. It's crazy. What about bank closures? How many of you are hearing about their local bank in the high street or wherever it is gone or it's about to close? I live literally not that far from Bilf, Wales, and there is one bank left. Guess what? That's going in a few weeks. There won't be any banks left in Bilf, Wales, in mid Wales. That will mean that there will be one cash point in the entire town. One. And if that gets vandalized or runs out of cash, there's nothing. Then what have you got? A post office. If something happens to post offices here in the UK, let me tell you this, it's an absolute major thing. Do you know why? Because most people, like myself, go to the post office to withdraw cash and to spend cash, not their card. So when all of these ATMs, automated teller machines, or cash points as we call them in the UK, when they are almost gone or gone, what are we going to do? We're going to get our cash from. And did you know that if you're a business and you have to hand cash in, you have to pay a charge? The whole thing's rigged. If you are a business in the UK, you are screwed every single angle that you could possibly imagine and more. Big time. You've got to pay transaction fees for contactless payment machines. You've got to pay a transaction charge per transaction. Or if you decide cash only and you go to the bank and you put the week's take-ins into the bank, you have to pay a charge over £100. There's a charge for every £100 that you put in. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And we're going to go on to tax a bit later. And if you're not up on tax, you guys won't believe what I'm going to say. You won't believe it. This country, the UK, do you know what a joke used to be years ago? Which people used to say about the UK? They used to call it Treasure Island. Yeah, because when you come to the UK, you are absolutely bled dry from your money. There are taxes everywhere on everything. And sometimes you pay more tax on the same thing. What's it like where you are? What's it like in America? You've got the IRS. What's the tax situation like out there? When you buy fuel, when you buy food, when you go to places, when you drive into certain centres, have you got to pay taxes on certain things? How bad is it? Is it a fair tax or is it a taking a piss tax? Let us know, because the more people that interact in this live chat, we can watch the replay and we can really get a good idea of how this is. All I can do is I can tell you what I see with my own eyes and what I hear from my friends around the world. We need to start joining the dots here because, like I said, we are being attacked on all fronts. Okay. But what about if a bank closes and it's been replaced by a betting shop? So it seems that people are being encouraged to bet. Yeah. Sometimes when you are that skint, where you've got so little money and you think, do you know what? I might just get lucky if I buy a scratch card or I put 10 quid on that horse running at Cheltenham on Thursday or whatever it is. How many people are being led into trying to gamble because you hope that it'll make such a big difference? You can pay all the bills and you can have a bit of a sigh of relief because money is getting so tight for so many people. It's incredibly crazy. All right. It just seems a conundrum that a bank would close only to be replaced by a betting shop. What a negative reality inversion that is. Like I say, post office closures, you don't even want to know what that would mean, especially where I am out in a rural community. Okay, post offices are such a lifeline. There's so many stories that have happened where governmental bodies have tried to discontinue or close a certain post office. All of the locals clubbed together, they bought it out and they're doing it themselves, voluntary. That's how freaking much our government loves us. Just you wait till I get onto the taxes later. My God, you think you're pissed off now? You better hold on to your hats, Jack. We got some stuff to break on here. It's going to blow a lot of people's minds, so stay with it, okay? It's crazy. What about bus services? Okay, public transport. They don't want people to drive petrol cars or diesel cars, etc., because it's bad for the environment. Oh no. Yeah, apparently, did you hear that the more carbon there is in the atmosphere, the worse it is for everyone? Actually, it's a good thing. If there was no carbon in the atmosphere, all trees, all people, all animals would die. Simple as that. And they want all of this by 2050. Think I'm making this up? You got a lot to do, sir. You got a lot to do. Thanks for hitting that like button, guys. Appreciate that. Yeah. Cool beans. So, again, post office, like we mentioned earlier about meeting places. Lots of people meet up in a post office, have a bit of a natter, have a bit of catch up. It's great. It's been going on for years. In the UK, we're very sociable people. But we're going to go on to that in the next point. And I want you to try and think about what I'm about to say on the next point, okay? So, post office closures, there'll be less places to withdraw cash, big problem, which we talked about. And there'll be a less place to meet other people physically. Because like I said, they want everyone online so they can monitor and spy on us to what we're talking about, what we're planning. Because they know more people are waking up to the BS and they know that their days are numbered. Their days are numbered. Governments are going to collapse all the way around the world in the next couple of years. They know this. Don't even get me started if that twat Biden gets elected in November. If he does, well, if you want to see a civil war in America, that's exactly what's going to start it. So if you are a gun owner in America, I suggest you go to the range and start getting some practice, because when November comes and that Biden gets sworn in again, oh my God, Civil War 2.0. Just wait and see. It's crazy. It's scary as hell. Like I said, bus services, that's being limited crazy, especially in rural areas. Sometimes you get one bus a day, one bus a week. How crazy is that? Which is so bizarre because they want to encourage people onto public transport so they drive less in their cars, motorbikes, vehicles, vans, whatever. They want everyone on buses. So how's that going to work when bus services are being limited and some cancelled altogether? Let me know if you've noticed that in your area, especially if you live in a rural area like myself, and lots of us preppers left the city around 2020 because we can see all this crap coming down the road. We are right out in the sticks now preparing for this, and we are seeing it firsthand in rural areas. Post offices and bus services are being slashed. Banks are going, ATMs are going. What do you guys see if you're living in a city? Is it the same thing? It'd be good to let everyone know. And what city are you in? What city are you seeing all of these cash points and all of these banks that are closing and all of these bus services which are being limited? It's crazy. And do you know what the funniest thing was? Like I said earlier, who remembers back in the day, if you had to use a bus and you would go to the bus stop and you had to wait, say, 20 minutes for your bus to come along, you'd talk to other people there. Do you know what you see now? I'll tell you what you see now. You see people like this. looking at their phones. Friggin' sheep, zombie, arsehole, idiot people. That's exactly what you see. People should be talking with human beings. We got 5 senses. What are we doing looking at these stupid little devices? What's wrong with talking to someone? You might make a friend. Who knows? Bloody hell, we're social animals. But we are being groomed into being individualists, just absolutely reliant on the system. We are being led to believe that we are powerless. We are nothing on our own. All of this sort of stuff, it's by design. All of it's by design. What about taxi drivers? How many of you have got a taxi recently? How many of you lads who have gone down the pub for a couple of beers? Obviously, you're not going to drink and drive. You'll get a cab, right? Was your taxi driver a foreign person? Now, I don't want to come across as being a racist. There's nothing wrong with saying a foreign person, okay? There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not right wing. I'm not National Front. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not an extremist. I'm just a guy, and I'm just posing a question. Was your taxi driver a foreign guy? The reason I ask this is because back in the day, all of the taxi drivers, when I was a young man in Portsmouth, and every time I popped over to London to see friends, all of them were local people who knew the area extensively. What we're seeing now is foreigners coming over here, could hardly speak any frigging English, and all they want is a postcode. So what if you give them a postcode to where you want to go? Do they know the fastest route? No. Is the postcode accurate? Probably not. What if they lose an internet connection and there's no map on the screen? They don't know where to go. Why? Because they haven't got local knowledge. They haven't got a frigging clue about what they're doing. And that's what's happening. Who wants to be a taxi driver in this day and age? Even if you wanted to, you've got no chance. Why? Because they're only letting foreigners do it, because the pay is probably so bad. There's so much legislation and BS which they have to go through. No one wants to do it anymore. What is happening to our country now? The old London cabbie back in the day, like I said, you could read the A to Z backwards, you know, every street, every angle, everywhere to go. Oh, there's like a traffic jam there. That's okay. I'll go in Shaftesbury. I'll go into Greek Street. It's quicker. You won't get that with some of these foreign guys. They just won't know. They will just say, what's the postcode? I'll say, I don't know. Where's it near? Oh, it's near the Cloak and Dagger. Oh, where's that? You're a good taxi driver, aren't you? So all of this stuff is crazy. Again, you could have a really good conversation with your taxi driver. You try and have one with some of them now. It's unbelievable what's going on. Incidentally, any of you guys wanting to know if I'm having a drink, I'm having a night off tonight. I'm on the legendary pineapple juice tonight. Beats inflammation. Check it out. So we're talking basically about a post-industrial decline. It's happening. Who has seen, there's videos, I'll tell you what, if you was to go into YouTube, I forget the name of the guy, but it's only got a one-word name, and he's got 59,000 subscribers or something, and some of his channels have got big views. He done one about Stoke. Now, if anyone, hi Margaret, good to see you again. If anyone is in Stoke, let us know, because from what I saw in that video is unbelievable. The city centre in Stoke, it's fallen, it's gone. But it's not just Stoke, it's other places. Now, if you live, no, I've not seen turd towns. No, this was something else. If you live in a town centre or a city, when you go into like the main central location of your city or your town, what's it like? Are you seeing shops boarded up, some closed down? Are you seeing vandalism like graffiti? Are you seeing weeds growing out of pavements, etc.? Are you seeing flaky paint off of shop window frames and all of that sort of thing? Are you seeing broken streetlights? Have you seen like old telephone boxes like smashed up and vandalized? Bins set on fire? Have you seen any of this where you are? If you have, let us know what area that is. Because like I said, I watched a video today on this guy talking about Stoke. Unbelievable. There was one, Grimsby, gee whiz. And it looks like exactly what I said earlier about failing towns. Okay. The Weatherspoons pubs are very, very important by the sound of these towns, because you know, when you're on the Nat King Cole, you've got no money, you're depressed, you probably are going to spend all day in the Weatherspoons. That seems to be how it's going. It's crazy. It really, really is. So when you look at the social craziness of what's going on, about what our governments are in charge, and yet this is happening more and more and more to more and more people, to more and more areas as we go through decade after decade here in the UK. It's crazy. Honestly, if these migrants that are coming over it in their droves, if they knew the truth of how bad it is in the UK, they probably wouldn't even come over here. They are literally being sold a pipe dream. It is not what you think in the UK. Let me know if you are outside of the UK, if you're in Europe, if you're in Scandinavia, if you're in America or wherever, or in Australia or something like that. How bad is it near your city centre, near your nearest town? Is it really getting run down and looking horrible? Is it all nice and clean and there's no crime and there's no arguments? What's it like where you are? And let us know where them places are. Okay, so you're looking at people who are out of work. There's a drink problem. There's a drunk problem. There's drugs, big time drugs. Lots of homelessness going on. The shops are closing down, are being boarded up, being vandalized, rubbish everywhere. This is starting to be a common occurrence all the way across the UK. And like I said, all of these little things just mount up inside the minds of the individuals living across the Western world right now. And we are just scratching the surface. We've got all the other stuff to pile on top of that, which we spoke about for about 2 years on this YouTube channel. What about Birmingham? Who remembers I've done a video on Birmingham back in September last year? They actually went bankrupt. Can you believe it? One of the most biggest, most powerful councils in Europe. It's the second largest urban area in the entire United Kingdom. Freaking hell, they've gone bankrupt. They have absolutely screwed up the finances in Birmingham. Service cuts. Oh my God. The service cuts. Just you wait till summertime. If they dare cut services to refuse, you're going to see big problems in Birmingham. Just imagine a heat wave. All of your bins are not being collected. The smell, the rats, all of the foxes just ripping it all up everywhere. It's going to be an absolute nightmare. And that's just one thing. Crime, I saw someone in the chat not that long ago. Crime is through the roof in Birmingham. Yeah, Catherine, Stab City, and Coventry. Yeah, exactly. Nottingham, I'll mention that as well. I think Birmingham was one of the biggest ones anyway. But yeah, Nottingham, apparently that is a real bad area to be. I'm sorry if you are from these areas and you find it offensive. We're just reporting on what we're seeing. And it goes back in the days, towns and cities were never like this. Now they're getting really bad. You seriously are. Tax. Now, as promised earlier, some stuff we're going to talk about now, I don't think everyone knows, but let me tell you this. This is going to shock a lot of you watching, okay? Right. Let's talk about tax here in the UK. Now, if you look at civilizations and empires way back in the day, one of the main fundamental reasons why those empires and civilizations have collapsed is because of over-taxation. Yeah. It's more common than you think. If you know your history and you look back in time and you see all of these places around the world where the citizens have rose up because they have had a frigging gutful about how bad they are being taxed by their government. And it's like the straw that broke the camel's back. Governments around the world are all the same. They're all corrupt, evil bastards who are in it for their own self-interest. They will just literally keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. They don't care. And one day they will push a little bit too far. And when they do, guess what? You are going to see big shit. Liz, I just said I'm not drinking tonight. Thanks anyway. But yes, car tax, road tax. Okay. What about the potholes? Have you got potholes where you are? Let us know in the chat. Have you got potholes in America? What about in Europe? I know in the UK it's a nightmare. Wales isn't too bad. England, freaking hell. If you go to England in rural areas, the potholes are a joke. Absolutely unbelievable joke. Now, looking at the finances that the governments and local governments get from taxation to maintain the roads, there is no way on this friggin' earth that there should be one friggin' pothole anywhere in the UK. Not one. But what do we see? Millions of them. And I'm not exaggerating. There are millions of potholes all over the UK, which are damaged. They break cars. It's an absolute friggin' disgrace. God forbid if you've got a mobility scooter or a wheelchair and you try to cross the road with these potholes, you might even get stuck in one. It's that friggin' dangerous. Okay. Margaret Clark, I've just seen what's happened on PayPal. You are an angel. A round of applause for Margaret, everyone. A massive support to the channel. You are incredible. And some of you can see that picture there. She made that for me. She's awesome. Margaret Clark, thank you so much indeed. You are an incredible human being. Fantastic. Oh, wow, that's knocked the wind out of my sails a bit, Margaret. Thank you for that. Wow. So, yeah, on PayPal, that is truly appreciated. Really, really cool. But going back to potholes, wow. Basically, road tax or car tax, it's used for a government fund, okay? So basically, that is to maintain the roads and, listen to this, in quote I've put, projects that benefit everyone. So not only is road tax that you pay on your vehicle to keep it on the road, okay? So when you use the road, you pay road tax. That road tax is supposed to upkeep and maintain the roads. But not only that, it's supposed to fund projects that benefit everyone. Now, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when I say projects that benefit everyone? I'm not going to say anything. The first person to get the right answer, what I'm thinking, is going to have their name up on the screen. I'm going to leave it up to you. And I'm literally going to pick the first person, right? So what's the first thing that comes into your mind when the government says projects that benefit everyone? No, no, blimey. Come on, you guys. I thought you was better than that. No. Here we go. The first person to get it right is Chris Bailey. 50-minute cities, exactly. So all of our car tax that we're paying, whether it's direct debit every month or you pay a lump every year, a very small percentage of that car tax that you pay and what I pay goes to maintaining the roads. The overwhelming bulk of that car tax goes to exactly what Chris has put on the screen, 15-minute cities. Whether you want 15-minute cities or not, they are using our car tax money to finance, to publicize, to maintain infrastructure networks for 15-minute cities. Well done, Chris. You're the only one who got it right. All the others were saying cycle lanes. 15-minute cities, if you're new here, guys, I'm not joking, I've done videos in it. Go into YouTube, type Funky Prepper, space 15-min city, and see what comes up. You might learn something. It's crazy. But not only that, there's a few things that I need to show you, right? So we're talking about tax, all right? Okay. This is quite unbelievable, all right? Look at this, 21 types. Let me just see if I've got this It always does this. I don't know why it doesn't default into a full screen. There we go. Sweet. Okay. The 21 types of tax we pay. This is the 8th of March, 2013. Over 10 years ago. All right. I want you to remember this. This is over 10 years ago. Look at this. £437 billion was collected by the UK government in 2011 to 2012. 437 billion we paid in tax in 1 year. Okay. Look at it. Income tax, capital gains tax, national insurance, value-added tax, corporation tax, bank payroll tax, petroleum revenue tax, fuel duties, inheritance tax, stamp duty, tobacco duties, spirit duties, beer duties, wine duties, cider duties, betting and gaming duties, air passenger duties, insurance premium tax, landfill tax. This one, climate change levy, unbelievable, and aggregates tax. Okay. Now, I know that's shocking. It really is shocking. It's an absolute piss take, to be fair. So, do you want to find out more about how the UK is being blown out of our asses with tax? Here's some more. Look at this. There we go. 2024. So this is the most up to date. Okay. Now, personal direct taxes, income, capital gains, national insurance, inheritance, indirect taxes and duties, all of these different things, excise duties, stamp duties, property land taxes, taxes for business people, sole traders, taxes on dividends, capital gains on business. All of these other things are insane. And it will just go on and on and on. Look, it is just sickening. There are way more taxes that you think. And you know, one of my favorite drinks is cider. I just prefer it these days. It's just how it is. But look at this. Did you know about this one? Check this out. Cider duties in the UK. Alcohol by volume, ABV, as we see on the drinks and the labels. Okay, so my cider is this, between 8.5 and 22%. So look at this, £28.50 for each litre of pure alcohol in that product. We have to pay just for cider. So if you've got weak pissy cider, okay, you have to pay this much. The stronger and better it is, the more expensive tax that you have to pay. Look at this. You need to pay alcohol duty on products with alcohol by volume of 1.3% or more. Come on, who drinks alcohol of less than 1.3%? You might as well drink Shandy Bass or have some Barbican and have a bit of a shindig. Right, Tim? Remember those days, mate? It's crazy. But like I said earlier, one thing which pulls all of this together, and I want you to really concentrate on this, guys, okay? We've been talking about this for a while, but how many know about this? This is called the climate change levy. All right. We spoke about this probably 13 or 14 months ago now. A means of encouraging businesses to be more energy efficient in how they operate. The CCL, the climate change levy, aims to reduce the overall emissions that businesses produce. In simple terms, the more energy efficient your business is, and the less carbon emitting energy you use, the less carbon change levy you'll pay. So basically, what that means is the cleaner your business, the less carbon it uses, the less charges you have to pay. It runs alongside with all of this woke bullshit, all of this she, he, him, her, all of this 500 genders. When you look down, and you know what gender you are. You're a male or you're a female. End of story. It's a perfect design. The human body is the perfect design. Anyone, woe betide, who thinks they can better that are not friends of ours. They are sick, they are misled, and they are arseholes, basically. But the weird thing is if you earn over £37,000, in the UK. Do you know what? You got to pay 40% of all of it in tax. Do you think that's a little bit naughty? That's been in play for quite a while now. So since that's been in play, look how much everything's getting. Look how expensive everything's getting. Surely that 37k needs to be raised to at least 60k now. No, it hasn't changed. The bottom line is the government are friends who really care for us, who we vote to run the place, do the admin. They're taking a piss in a large way. They are taxing you and me and all of our friends and family to the hilt, big time. It's insane. So like we said earlier, how this is coming to fruition now is this. Homeless. So when you lose your job, you can't find a job, you can't pay your bills, you lose the home where you are in, and you end up living on the streets. Unfortunately, this problem of being homeless is not just reside to the UK. This is an absolute first world global problem right now. Now, I want you guys to really think about this, where you are and where you've been. Have you seen anything like this where you have been? Whether it's local to you, whether you've been on holiday. Let us know in the chat of what you've seen. Did you go to holiday in America? Did you go to LA to visit friends? Did you see Tent City out there? All of these things. I mean, it is absolutely crippling. This is in the United Kingdom. So if you guys watching in America, in Europe somewhere, this is what it's actually like in urban environments in the United Kingdom. Look at this. It is absolutely sickening, shocking, and saddening. These people need help. And let me tell you this, if anyone watching this is such a snob to think that all of these people, these homeless beggars, etc., they just need to get a job. Well, let me tell you this. Have you ever been in that situation? Have you known someone who's been in that situation? Do you know what it's actually like to live and survive on the streets? Do you know how bad it is? Look at this. YouTube videos. And be under no illusion, some of these people you are looking at in these pictures used to serve this country as a military veteran. It is basically an epidemic now. There are so many. Look. Veterans, people who used to serve in the military, living on the streets. It's an absolute crying shame that this is unfortunately a reality. These soldiers who fought for our country, what are we doing to help? Moreover, what the friggin' hell is our government doing to help these men and women? This is happening all over the UK. We can scroll through pages and pages and pages, and we are seeing the same problem. And this problem is growing and growing and growing. Honestly, I could literally just keep going. And another upsetting thing which I come across earlier, be under no illusion, don't believe everything that you see. What am I talking about? I want to draw your attention to this. This was an article that I saw off the back of those images just a few moments ago by this rag called Medium, okay? Addressing homelessness in the UK, insight and solutions, right? This was just before Christmas last year, all right? So you read down and you think, my God, look at this picture. Where is that? But if you look underneath, image generated with AI mid-journey. What you are seeing here is not the truth. This is an artificial intelligence interpretation of what it is here in the UK. This is not a factual photograph. This is made entirely with artificial intelligence. I just wanted to point that out to save any confusion. Well, we got here. Thank you for that donation. That's Jay, the person who commissioned the Georgia Guidestones, RC Christian, knew what was coming in the future. Oh yeah, for sure. Maintain humanity in perpetual balance or motion with nature at 500 million people, 500 million. It's supposed to be around 8 billion of us. So that means a lot of us aren't going to be here by 2050 if they have their way, which means it's important that as many people who watch these videos trying to spread awareness to share the video. Okay, so if you can click share this link underneath this video with Telegram groups, Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups, it really helps. So Jay, thanks for that, and I think you're right, absolutely. Owen, thank you for that donation from a member. Try riding a bike in the UK. I think you are referring to potholes, Owen, like we discussed earlier. Yeah, I can only imagine what it must be like to ride a bicycle here in the UK. Because let's face it, if you don't drive a car, do you know how much it costs to keep a vehicle on the road in the UK? I've literally been wiped out just before Christmas, nearly £3,000 of maintenance bills for my car. It's literally put me in shit street. If I had a bicycle, I wouldn't have had to pay any of those things. So I can fully understand why there's like a climb in the amount of bicycle owners here in the UK, because quite frankly, people just can't afford to run a car. And this is all by design. How many of you have had to renew their car insurance over the last 6 months? Let us know in the chat. Let us know how much more you had to pay than you would have over the last 10 years. I was absolutely shocked. And furthermore, when I got a quote to renew my car insurance, do you know what? Third-party fire and theft was exactly the same as fully comprehensive. Now, you tell me, what the hell is all that about? Am I missing something here? That's exactly what come up. Exactly the same price for two completely different covers. Let me know if you have had any strange surprises with car insurance recently. Now, Ben, 4x4 fella, good to see you, mate. Yeah, what's it like for insurance? Because you drive a big rig like Chris, UK Prepper Man. It'd be interesting to see if the insurance has changed, because for an everyday like road user, for like a bog standard vehicle like a car, a two-wheel drive or whatever, the prices have gone crazy. So it'd be interesting if other people have had a big sting on their car insurance very recently. It's been an absolute bonkers thing. So with all of those things that I've said earlier, that when you put them all together, it forms feelings in our minds. Okay, so when you've got all of those things going on, like I said, basically it's more financial pressure. It doesn't seem to make any difference no matter how many extra hours you work overtime. Did you take that extra part-time job? Let me know in the chat if you've got more than one job, because we are being told that lots of people here in the UK have had to do more than one job. Whether you're working more part-time jobs, whether you're doing a full-time job, and maybe you have to do a part-time or maybe even more than one part-time job as well. That is absolutely not sustainable for the long term. No one is going to be capable physically and mentally to sustain a job which is going to be more than 60 hours a week. You can do it for a while. I used to work 84 hours a week. I worked abroad in the Middle East, and I worked 12-hour days, 7 days a week for an entire month without a break, 84 hours a week solid for 4 weeks. It's hard going. Some people do that for ages. Now, the question that I have to anyone who is working long hours, really, really, really try to find time for yourself, okay, to relax, to do things that you enjoy, because the more time that you're spending working than you are probably sleeping or having some sort of decent standing of living, that is going to have a fundamental health impact on your mental psyche. 100%. Absolutely on point. There are so many people out there right now struggling with all of this mental stress and pressure. Thank you to Martin over on PayPal for that donation. Thank you very much, along with Margaret. It's very, very kind. Appreciate that. And Bo, there you go. Bloody hell, hot sauce. Good guy. That's me, long hours. Dude, take a break, okay? I know what it's like. I'm doing YouTube full time now. And let me tell you this, it's nowhere near as much money as most people think. Don't forget, anyone who makes YouTube content has to pay 40% on everything. All donations, they take 40%. All advertising revenue, if I don't get blocked or banned like I usually do, they take 40%. It's really, really difficult to make some sort of living and get by on YouTube. It's not what people think. You can go to Social Blade and it will say all of this. It's not taking away the 40%. So basically, nearly half of what you see on there is what you get. It's crazy. It is just unbelievable. So when I wake up in the morning, I spend most of my day researching for content that I usually upload in the evening. And like I say, so many people out there are having to work longer hours, different jobs, just to make ends meet. So when you've got all of that financial pressure, stress, and burden upon the populace of the United Kingdom, what's getting poured on top of that? You'll get in the social breakdown and collapse of, do you believe the government? Do you think having that in 2021 was a good idea? They have basically split humanity in half. And it's exactly what the overall plan is. Divide and conquer. Okay. You've got believers and you've got the non-believers. Okay. People who believe that the government, the mainstream media, our pharmaceutical industry have got our best interest at heart. You've got those group of people and the other group of people like us and myself who think all of that is complete bullshit and it's not helping anyone apart from greedy, psychopathic, selfish, greedy bastards at the very, very top. That's basically the only people who benefit. Like I said, this is historically factual. You can check it yourself if you don't believe me. In fact, I encourage you to check things yourself. Don't believe everything I say. Please find time, make time, do your own research like I do. It's crazy. The amount of people who followed what the government said in 2020, who no longer have a business. Yeah. Thanks for that. Sound advice. And who knows what happened to those people after their business is closed. Maybe that was all they knew. Maybe the business that they had was generation after generation after generation after generation gone. They don't know nothing else. Thanks to the government advising people, you should shut your business, still pay the rent though. And if you need any help, you can contact us. Good luck getting through, by the way, if that was the case. Who remembers having to contact the council during 2020? This would be good. Any of you guys watching right now who had to contact their local council in 2020 when the issue was going on, how did you get on? I actually went round there. Oh my God, security, you couldn't even get in the building. No, you have to phone. You have to phone in. Wow, do you know how bad it is? Nearly swore then. Do you know how bad it is to phone your local council only to be on hold for about half an hour, 40 minutes to get put through to someone who is the wrong person? They try to find the right person, and in that process, you get cut off and you've got to start all over again. Do you know how frustrating it is? Do you know how hard it is if you're in an area with very, very bad mobile phone signal? Do you know how bad it is if you're on pay-as-you-go and every single penny on your credit on your mobile phone is important. Do you know how bad it is with those arseholes in the local council just cut you off like that? Not once, not twice, 4 times it happened to me. That day, I nearly wasted my entire whole day trying to contact the council after they refused me to go into the building and speak to a frigging human being. That's how much our local councils and our government actually care about us. And with all of the stuff that's coming down the road, with everything else, if you don't know what I'm talking about, just watch more videos. What I've talked about now is, like I said, all of the little things. But you add up all of these little things, put that into the mindset of the average Joe, without even thinking about all of the WHO stuff, without all of the universal basic income, without all of the Big Brother spying stuff, without all of the Ukraine stuff, all of the Russia stuff, all of the China stuff, all of the Israel stuff, without all of the protests, without all of the migrants coming over here, without all of that. You add all that together, guess what? It's a shitstorm. And if you don't think we are at war already, my God, God help you, when your front door gets kicked in, it's too late. What are you going to do? How are you going to plan? What are you going to do to prepare? Are you going to sit there? Are you going to be that goon who thinks they are going to phone 999 or 911 the second something bad happens, thinking that someone's going to come along and save your ass? Do you really think that's going to happen? Guess what, my friend? No one is coming. What are you going to do about it? You guys have been awesome. Thank you for everyone who's supported me and this channel. The donations are incredible. You guys really do make a difference. And everyone who has shared this video, thank you so much. I can't begin to appreciate how important that is to me, that people share my videos. Hitting the thumbs up really helps. If you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really, really helps. We do need to get this message out there. We do need to try and educate and help as many people as we can, because this movement is growing. Be under no illusion, but it doesn't seem to be enough. We need more people on our side. Some of the people, no fault of their own, bought into the bullshit from the government and had that sort of thing done in 2021. Some people who've had that done have woke up since, and they say, and they tell me, that it's one of the biggest regrets that they've ever done. But nonetheless, they are awake and are not going to comply anymore. Don't forget, if you're awake now, great. I'm happy for you. But guess what? You was asleep once before, just like I was, okay? Plant seeds in people's minds. Don't go too crazy at people. Just be gentle. Be kindful, be respectful, be helpful, be understanding. Try to make people question things and think about more things. It's the only way that we're going to beat these evil bastards who think they're pulling our strings at the very, very top. Everyone who's taken part in the chat, I really, really appreciate all of you. You've been amazing tonight. You've really contributed a shitload to this live chat. Now, the best thing is, everyone who watches on the replay can watch all of the chat. It's fantastic. Well, we got more. Thank you, Mr. M. Terry Lane. Thank you for that. That's really kind. And Anton, good to see you again, Anton. Been a while. Thank you for that super sticker. And indeed, Matt as well. Thank you very much indeed. I appreciate everything that everyone's doing for me. Like I say, it is not easy, but we try our best and we move forward. So everyone who has done what they can to help, thank you so much. And spreading this message by sharing it. You guys are awesome. And the members as well. Members of this community are growing. It's seriously good news. The merch is ongoing, and as soon as it drops, I will let you know. We've already reached the £1,000 goal for the sponsored walk, which I'm doing to help military veterans out there. It's all going in the right direction. And lastly, but not least, thank you to all of the moderators out there. All of you guys and girls in blue, with that big nasty spanner, respect goes out to you. And yes, there we are. Absolutely. Cheers, honey. That's brilliant. Awesome. So you guys take care. Thanks for watching and stay funky.